PNG Customs destroy contraband goods worth millions. New double classroom for Korea Primary in Rigo. And Hekari beats Star Mountain FC in Southern Conference.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Saturday's news. PNG Customs has carried out its biggest destruction exercise to date. Various imported contraband and illicit goods worth over 30 million kina in duties and taxes were destroyed. These non-compliant imports were detected and seized at the border by PNG Customs. The goods have become unfit for human consumption and have been destroyed under supervision of law enforcement officers.
6 containers in total were seized from 8 different importers for various breaches of the Customs Act relating to smuggling, tax evasion offences, and intellectual property rights infringement, with tax value of all destroyed items worth over 30 million kina. Customs Chief Commissioner David Towe confirmed that the combined contents of the containers included 6,200 cartons of assorted illicit cigarettes and tobacco products, 5,400 assorted cartons of alcohol products, and some jewelry items. The destruction exercise was carried out just outside Port Moresby in the presence of customs enforcement officers, police, and NCDC health officers. The Chief Commissioner explained that the PNG Customs Services has recently increased its law enforcement approaches against transnational criminals and their illicit trade activities. The proactive approaches undertaken by the leadership team at Customs and the vigilance of hardware custom frontline officers at the borders have resulted in increased detection, detention, and seizure of huge number of contraband and non-duty paid goods recently. With the recent amendments to the Customs Act 1951, amended by Parliament in November 2020, significantly increased penalties and fines on infringement of various customs laws. Customs expect greater voluntary compliance from all the stakeholders. Jamie Harrow, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister James Marapa has thanked all development partners who have worked with his government. He urged these partners, including foreign missions in the country, to continue the partnership. The Prime Minister was speaking at the Independence Dinner at Parliament House on Thursday.
Of course, the Japanese government and people, we say thank you very much. Of course, to the United States of America, government and people, we say thank you very much. Of course, to Philippines, to Malaysia, to Singapore, to India, to our brothers in Solomon Islands and Fiji and Indo-Pacific, and many, many more. Great Britain, France, Germany, further to our European partner nations who buy our producers. And closer to home, lastly but not the least, to our wonderful brothers over on the other side, west of us, our Indonesian brothers and sisters. We want to relate more with you. We don't want to be only recipient of aid and donor. Our producers must find its place in your economies. We want to sell, if not finished products, right now our raw produces to you. I ask you, our local missions here, as you work and stay with us, sell our forest producers, sell our agriculture producers, sell our oil and gas producers, and more so, run with me as I enter and try to move our country into the next phase, and that is in the downstream industry space in as far as our resources are concerned.
Prime Minister James Marapa also highlighted the need for downstream processing of gold and other resources in the country. He says there are plans to stop the import of processed food and other products.
Complementary to our intention to stop import of food and for processing of food in our country, whether it is downstream in other agricultural produces or downstream in forestry, or downstream in other produces that we produce in our country. For instance, our cabinet again, in a very recent cabinet, approved that Into the future, we will have one gold refinery in our country, and all golds produced in our country are channeled into that refinery for us to have processed gold with Kumul stamp on it to be sold to your export destinations elsewhere. Those sort of intentions are to diversify our economy, make our economy grow, entrench our economy. My discussions with our big multinationals who operate in our country is not to harm and hurt the rate of investment, or the rate of return on the investment, I beg your pardon.
The Acting Managing Director for National Forest Service has highlighted the need to better manage all resources in the country. John Mosoro said there are already laws in place, however, people in authority are not managing the resources well. This was his independence message to the staff of PNG Forest Authority.
Independence is a day for all of us to celebrate as a country, as a nation, as one people. If we have not gained independence, I don't think we will be here, because our resource, timber, our oil, our gas, our fisheries, all these resources will be taken over by those so-called colonialism. If Somalia and the others have not given us independence quickly, then those colonial powers would have seen our resources and have delayed our independence until they extract all our resources and then give us independence a bit late. And that is a political statement, but if you really look at it, we are so privileged. Now that we have all our gas, our resources, our oil, our fisheries, and we have our timber. We manage it ourselves. But the issue here is this, independence. Did we manage our resource properly? Did our laws that was made, did the laws really govern the resource properly? The answer is, the laws were made for us, and that is true. The people who manage the resource did not manage it properly. So, in this independence, we look at ourselves. Are we managing the resource that God has given to us properly? The laws are there, but we, the people, are not managing our resources.
Rigo MP Lekwa Gura recently opened a new double classroom at Kora Primary School in Rigo District. The new double classroom was built at a cost of 50,000 kina. Head teacher Samuel Gamales says quality learning environments will help improve the quality of education in the district.
The new double classroom at Kore Primary School was built at a cost of 50,000 kina, funded by the Rigo District Development Authority. The cost covers building materials, transport and labor. Rigo MP Lekwa Gure officially opened the classroom yesterday.
To build a complete double classroom like the one here, it needs more funds. However, good accountability and transparency in managing the funds is the outcome of this new double classroom. A quality learning environment is the important thing that will enable students to feel comfortable, relaxed, and they will achieve the best results.
With the classroom now completed, there is still more to be done. According to the board chairman, interior parts of the classrooms like library shelves need to be completed. The board chairman also thanked the Rigo MP for the district's assistance in building this classroom. The local MP assured them the district's support to complete the classroom. However, they must put their request in a proposal.
What else that needs to be done on the interior of the classroom or library shelves or whatever? It is best, I would recommend to the board chairman and his board members to put it together, document it in a document, and then also get 3 quotations and submit that for the DDA's consideration.
The local MP also made a commitment to support the school with new desks for the students.
But what we did is we will donate 30 desks, 15 to each classroom. I know the request has been raised, but we were not able to raise the payment to the supplier.
The local MP says there is more to be done in infrastructure development. However, funding is always a concern.
We have many development needs in the areas of health, education, economic empowerment, accessibility in terms of roads and bridges, water supply, rural electrification, so on and so forth. So it would be nice to do as many things as you can, but always, as usual, money is the limiting factor.
Rayon Lakingu National, MTV News.
Education and training in Rigo District is one important outcome highlighted in the district's 5-year development plan 2018 to 2022. In 2018 and 2019, 4 double classrooms and teachers' houses were built in various schools in the district. However, the local member says the COVID-19 pandemic has affected their plans.
5-year development plan. In Rigo's 5-year development plan, 2018 to 2022, there are 13 outcomes in that plan. And one of the outcomes is education and training. And in our 5-year development plan, there were some schools where where allocation was made to build a double classroom and a teacher's houses. Some of them are being built at the moment. In 2018, 2019, we built 4 of them, 4 double classrooms and 4 teachers' houses. And then last year, we were supposed to build another 5, but because of the coronavirus, everybody got distracted by the COVID-19, and it was on the lips of everybody. So all those activities that we were supposed to do last year, we are only doing them, carrying them out now. Some of the water projects we started last year, but the double classrooms and teachers' houses were only started this year. And the schools where these classrooms and teachers' houses are being built, Biga Iruka Primary School, Mamalo Primary School, Tagada Primary School, Rabone St. Patrick's Primary School, and Allen Jones Primary School at Hula.
National MTV News continues with more stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Certified Practicing Accountant, or CPA, launched its new software to manage connectivity with members. This is an innovative way to move into the ICT sector in compliance with current changes as a result of the pandemic.
This membership management system is a web-based application that facilitates comprehensive management of stakeholders and members with data, workflows, events, website content and asset management. This move is to allow digital change in its operations. It is one of the bold achievements for CPA PNG.
CPA PNG is now modernizing its systems and related processes so that we can support our members more efficiently. CPA PNG has made a significant and bold decision to invest in such a membership relationship management system. It is moving ahead with digital reforms that focus on innovation and support modernization of business processes.
CPA PNG is one of the leading organizations in the financial sector with 7,000 members. Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, in support of CPA's new management software, officially did the launching. With most organizations and companies moving into the digital arena, this system is a step forward for CPA and its members.
This system will greatly improve the process, how it manages membership, subscription, its data. It will use its data to plan and market its product, fundraising events. We congratulate you on this achievement because it takes leadership, not leadership, leadership to allow changes such as this to take place.
The CPA member relationship management software is also a convenient way to do business in these thriving times. Suli, National MTV News.
A property owner at 9 Mile in the nation's capital has raised concerns over a proposed flood drainage system that will be built in the area. He says the construction of the drainage system will destroy part of his supermarket. He is calling on the NCD Physical Planning Board to reconsider their plan.
This is the new supermarket located in 9 Mile outside Port Moresby. Property owner Mac Lawai says a flood drainage system that will be built in the area will destroy part of the supermarket. He says this is not a vacant land.
But it's not a vacant land. I own that title. But in GDG, you are using the Potion 1398. But this is not a vacant land. It's not Potion 1398. It's Potion 4562.
This supermarket was built in 9 Mile when there was nothing. That is development for the people. We are bringing service to the people. We are not saying that flood management is something that we shouldn't be doing. Yes, it's an adjunct to everybody, but we must do it the right way.
According to engineer Livingstone Hosea, the drainage system will be built 11 meters away from the supermarket. However, they have identified a design problem. The engineer says if the drainage system is to be built on the building, over 5 columns of the supermarket will be destroyed. This will cost over 1 million kina.
I would like to think that there is a design problem, that when they were designing, you decided to run the drain on the building. When we run the drain on the building, this is what will happen. We are running 6 meters into the rear end of the building. It will take away 5 columns of the building and 1 into the interior column. And it will amount to about $1 million to rebuild this and the cost that is amounted.
The engineer highlighted the need for a better survey and planning, and that is to develop a better flood drainage system without affecting private properties of citizens. He says engineers must have moral ethics and common sense.
So it questions our morality as engineers, designers, surveyors, town planners. Do we have moral standing? Where is our engineering due diligence? Can we respect the hard work of our fellow Papua New Guineans who are trying very best to develop places like this which nobody wanted to come to?
The engineer is calling on the NCD Physical Planning Board for a roundtable discussion to find a way forward. He says there is no need to waste taxpayers' money on unnecessary court battles.
We have proposed certain options that NCDC and the design team can look at so that we find an amicable solution without a very long court battle that will drag both of us into it. We propose that the drain be established where it's supposed to be, an ID survey be conducted, and a design team to review their design and see where this drain should actually sit down.
Lawyer Sam Kati says though it is part of development, people's livelihood must be considered.
It's likelihood that we are going to go back to the court, get restraining orders if possible, and if necessary. And then we're willing to stop this, but we understand that court will definitely talk about development has to go on and all these ones. But then, what about the registered provider's right, Mr. Lawa's rights over this problem?
Rayon Lakingu National, MTV News.
Chukai Sports is next. All the details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The National Soccer League matches return this weekend in Port Moresby and Lae after a 2-week break. In the Southern Conference opening match, title contenders Hekari United have proven to be the better side with a convincing 6-2 victory over Star Mountain FC.
The 45th minute.
Hekari United turned up the heat as they put in a dominant performance, defeating Star Mountain FC 6-2. Both teams were ready to get the ball rolling on the rest of the season after the 2-week break from competition.
And in the 26th minute,
in a lively match which saw both sides displaying their attacking flair, however, it was Hekari who dominated possession for the majority of the match. United were able to capitalize on their chances, which saw them put 6 goals past the Star Mountain keeper.
Also letting it go for Kolukepa to double Hekari's lead.
Star Mountain didn't let Hekari have it all their way, equalizing the score at 2-2 midway through the first half. Hekari scored once again to take the lead 3-2 at halftime. The relentless pressure from Hekari proved too much for Star Mountain, and the 6-2 victory for United showed that the 2-week break didn't slow them down.
For a header by Michael Foster to see.
Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
The High Performance Center is ready to assist the country's elite athletes prepare for upcoming international events. Through the PNG Sports Foundation, the athletes will continue their training at the High Performance Center.
The PNG Sports Foundation's High Performance Center is currently preparing to assist the country's elite athletes as they gear up for the next 2 major events on PNG's sporting calendar.
As you all know, we have Commonwealth Games coming in 2022 and Pacific Games in 2023. So those are the 2 major campaigns that the High Performance Division will be working hard towards. And We can't do it on our own. We need everybody in PNG Sports Foundation to have a collaborative outlook towards preparing and supporting the team if we want them to be successful. So I'm putting it out there for you guys now. So if we come looking for help, please support us in our drive towards helping our athletes enhance their performance and getting a podium finish.
Ure stated that the athletes are at the center of the foundation's work, and as such, a favorable environment has to be created in order to help them focus and perform to the best of their abilities.
For me, I would like to see a more athlete-centered approach. An athlete, at the end of the day, is a human being, right? So all of these facilities we have seated here being built is because of the athlete. So if we can look at an athlete as a human being and create the most conducive environment for that human being to become a high performer, and at the end of the day, that's what you and I are here for, the athlete. So if we can all have our mindsets towards that, everything we do intertwines to making a podium finish for the athlete.
Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
And that ends Chukai Sports with the details coming up next.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
I'll look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Mostly fine and windy in Port Moresby, partly cloudy and windy in Daru, partly cloudy with possible evening showers in Kerema, Alotau and Popondetta. In the Mamasi region, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms in Leh, cloudy with possible showers in Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy with some showers in Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, partly cloudy with a few evening showers in Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, partly cloudy with brief evening showers in Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa, and partly cloudy with showers and possible thunderstorms in Mendi and Wabek. Forecast for small crafts for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Islands and to Kerema, to Yule Island and Hood Point to Samari Islands. Seas of 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Waters from Samari Island to Cape Vogel and eastern and western Milne Islands, including waters of Long Island to Medang and Karkar Island to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border. Seas of 2 to 3 meters. Waters north of Cape Vogel to Huon Gulf and to Finschhafen, seas of 1.5 to 2 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitiaz and Dampier Straits to CRC and Long Island, seas of 2 to 3.5 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, and with waters of New Ireland to East New Britain and Bougainville, seas of 1 to 2 meters, and waters of West New Britain, seas of 1.5 to 2.5 meters. I'll look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. In the Coral Sea, seas rough to very rough seas with southeast winds at 25 to 34 knots reaching up to 48 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas rough with southeast winds at 25 to 34 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, seas rough with east to southeasterly winds at 20 to 30 knots. In the Pacific Ocean, seas moderate with east to southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Saturday, 18th of September 2021. Until next time, pleasant viewing, be safe and good night.